Hello, it's a lovely good evening. Welcome to Camnet Television Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Our top stories in the news tonight. The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, says the seized suspected gold bars are fake. LCC employees storm Ministry of Local Government officers over unpaid salaries. The PF to go ahead with their planned rally despite police restrictions. In international news, Kenya's public debt rises by a record 10.8 billion United States dollars. And in sports news, England reach first Women's World Cup final.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Now the news in detail. Residents in Lusaka's Mandevu constituency of Kabanana compound are calling on the local leadership to construct a mini hospital in the area as the population is growing. The residents have told Camnet News that they are forced to walk long distances to access healthcare services at Chipata Level 1 Hospital and Matero Level 1 Hospital. One of the residents, Alice Perry, says the poor state of the roads have also contributed to making it hard to access health facilities as motorists refuse to come to the area. Here's a report.
Reducing by 1/3 premature mortality from non-communicable diseases through the prevention and treatment of various illnesses, strengthening the prevention and treatment of substance abuse are among the targets of Sustainable Development Goal number 3, which aims to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. This commitment is also attached to Agenda 2030 with dimensions anchored on the 5 Ps: people, prosperity, planet, partnership and peace. When time is ticking towards the commitment Zambia pledges, access to health facilities in parts of the country remains a challenge. While such cases are rampant in rural parts of the country, urban areas also suffer from the same challenge. Residents in Lusaka's Kabanana compound of Fumbelo area have bemoaned the lack of a mini hospital within the area to address their healthy plight. The residents tell this journalist that the health facility within the area cannot accommodate the growing population.
We only have one clinic that is at the ground side, so you find that the clinic will be it's too small. Too small for like 20 people to fit in. Yeah, and they knock off at an early time.
Kulibe hospital bantu kufunika kuenda kuchipata level 1 olo kungwelele olo kungombe manje ni kutali whereby taxi sifika kuno uzafika bwanji kulibe kopita
kutiti choke kuno ubukinga motoka usiku nishimuna 300 tikafika ku clinic manda tete mnyamuna tikamfikise kuja ku road ni patali mwaiona ka ground ya kuja ku road tikamfikise kuja ni patali.
There is too much challenges. No wonder here in Kabarana usually people they give birth munyumba because they don't have facilities up to muntu ngalibe 500 sanga in the clinic. When the younger come in here, the road network is poor. There is too much challenge.
When reached for a comment, Area Councillor Chereshe Mwango promised to get back after having a meeting which did not happen by broadcast time. Area Member of Parliament Christopher Shagafuswa also was unresponsive by broadcast time. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council workers have stormed the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development headquarters demanding payment of 4 months' arrears. The workers who earlier staged a sitting protest at LCC grew impatient with their union leaders who failed to provide them with information on when they will get paid their salary arrears. By broadcast time, the workers were waiting for an address by the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Gary Nkombo. More in the following report.
The demand for salaries by Lusaka City Council workers LCC on Wednesday boiled over as they lost patience walking to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. The workers earlier staged a sitting protest demanding for 4 months arrears, stating that life has become unbearable.
Daughter who's working for Lusaka City Council because I'm not being paid.
Okay. Now the question to answer
basic necessities we can't even meet them because we are not being paid.
These are the things that
so what's the way forward? You've told us yes.
However, reacting to their concerns, Zambia United Local Authority Workers Union Zulawu President Emmanuel Mwinsa told the workers that all efforts to engage government have failed.
Government should be able to ensure that for them to achieve the popularized decentralization policy, achieve decentralization policy, the benefits are many alimo. Without our workers kusevenza, your policy meant come by decentralization, fulfilled. Because decentralization is about kukwelesa some services to members of the community. Now, vajamene vachita provide my services in the end. Ni vichani vamene vafuniko pezamu, ni masalary, so that time musunge ma families. So in a nutshell, colleagues, that is what we can say.
And when the leaders decided to go to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development to engage the ministry, the workers could not hold it but tag along. The aggrieved workers walked to the ministry, where they are hoping to be addressed by the minister. As at broadcast time, the workers were seated, waiting for the minister, who was reportedly out of the office. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Patriotic Front Acting Vice President, Given Lubenda, says the rally scheduled for the 26th of August 2023, in which the PF have planned to launch the party's strategic plan, will go ahead as planned despite a directive by the Zambia police not to proceed with the rally. Mr. Lubenda says the decision to disallow the mass public rally by the Zambia police is illegal and will not be condoned. The former Justice Minister says the Zambia police has no right to direct the party where it should hold its meeting when the duty of the police is to provide security to the Zambian citizens. Wednesday, the Zambia police informed the Patriotic Front Party that the planned rally to launch their party's strategic plan scheduled for the 26th of August 2023 should not take place due to security concerns.
To see the Deputy Inspector General of Police, who were surprised to be given yet another letter. And this letter wasn't even received by ourselves. It was not received by our provincial committee. And in this letter, they are now giving two reasons. The first reason they are giving us is that the launching of a strategic plan does not require to be done at a ground. It can be done in a hall, it can be done in a hotel. It is not up to Malama, officer commanding Lusaka, to tell us how we want to launch our strategic plan. It is up to us. If we want to launch it in our houses, we'll do it. If we want to launch it in a hotel, we'll do it. If we want to launch it in a hall, we'll do it. But this time we want to launch it at a playing ground. It's not up to him to tell us. So I'd like to inform members of the public. The rally is taking place on the 26th of August. We are going ahead because these reasons here are totally unacceptable. But because we're a law-abiding party, we are going to talk to Commissioner for Lusaka Province to tell him that these reasons which your officers gave are totally unacceptable. Come up with better reasons. These ones are unacceptable. And whether he likes it or not, we have the right, the constitutional right to assemble. And no police officer is going to interfere with our enjoyment of that right.
Citizens First Party President Harry Kalaba has questioned the autonomy of investigative wings in the country. Mr. Kalaba wonders why government officials are in panic issuing statements that are supposed to be issued by the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC. Meanwhile, governance activist Wesley Mianda has advised government officials to sit back and let the DEC do its work independently. More in this report.
The debate continues. Questions needing answers keep arising as to what is behind the gold scandal. Perhaps it is time for the investigative wings to shine as they try to clear speculations making rounds in the court of public opinion. However, some government officials have decided to jump on board to activate the Ministry of Clarification and Justification.
Those bars contained copper in the range of 58 to 61%. And zinc in the range of, I think, 38 to 41%. And
this has not been received well by Citizens First Party President Harry Kalaba, who feels the statements being issued by senior government officials undermines the operation of the investigative wings.
We are urging government to take seriously the concerns of the people concerning what has happened at the Osaka International Airport, concerning the gold, as well as the monies that were involved. We are also worried about the figures that keep on changing from 11 million, now it is 5 million, now we hear it has gone to getting lower and lower. So we are hoping that we'll be getting concrete statements from the DEC, and only them should be updating the nation. This business of having politicians also beginning to comment on this matter and beginning to issue statements telling us that what they confiscated was not gold, it was zinc and it was copper. I think that those jokes must end. When you see a politician beginning to comment on a matter which they shouldn't comment on, they're already beginning to intimidate the investigative wings. They're already beginning to undermine the investigative wings. We don't want that to happen.
Meanwhile, a governance activist, Wesley Mianda, has re-echoed Mr. Kalaba's sentiments.
When you look at the whole thing, I think, it is sort of jeopardized. This statement was supposed to come from DEC. These institutions are supposed to be autonomous. They're supposed to work independently. But the way they are operating now is like there's an invisible hand which is trying to control the system, which is not good, because this is not good for the governance system. We need to have transparency, we need to have actually accountability, so that all these leaders who are in power now should be held accountable. No, we still have a long way to go, and people already are evaluating the performance of UPND administration from the time it came into power. And these are some of the weaknesses that we need to iron out.
For now, questions Zambians are asking themselves are who is behind this whole scandal and whether this is happening for the first time or not. It is all in the hands of the Drug Enforcement Commission and other investigative wings to answer these questions, and Zambians hope this matter will be followed to the latter and those involved kiss the feet of the law. Vincent Piri for Community TV News, Lusaka.
Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbo has appealed to opposition political party members to stop linking the head of state, President Hakainde Hichilema, and State House officials to the entangled gold scandal. Mr. Mwimbo says President Hichilema and State House officials have nothing to do with incidents and has advised members of the public to give chance to investigative wings to conduct their investigations. Meanwhile, the Home Affairs Minister has advised government wings to refrain from commenting on the investigations but allow only the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, to handle the case as they are the lead team in the investigations. Speaking from Angola Wednesday morning, Mr. Mwimbo has expressed surprise at the prejudicial statements issued by Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe yesterday.
We urge all other wings of government to desist from making comments on this matter. All comments pertaining to this particular matter will be handled by the Drug Enforcement Agency, who are the lead agency in this investigation. We also want to appeal to members of the public who may have particular information pertaining to this particular gold saga to report and inform the investigating wings of the information they may have in order for the investigating wings to expedite this particular process. We, as government, have nothing to hide. This morning, we are going to lead a delegation of media houses to go to the airport and see for themselves that the plane in issue is under our custody. And the individuals who are alleged to be involved in this matter, and which individuals were detained by the police, are still in custody. No one has been released by the investigating wing. I also want to appeal that politicians must not use this particular unfortunate situation to scandalize.
President Hakainde Hichilema has arrived in Luanda, Angola, where he will be attending the 43rd Ordinary Summit of the Southern African Development Community's SADC Heads of State and Government from the 16th to the 17th of August 2023. The summit, hosted by President of Angola, João Lourenço, is being convened under the theme Human and Financial Capital, the key drivers for sustainable industrialization of the SADC region. And during the summit, President Hichilema will assume the chair of the SADC Organ for Politics, Defense and Security Cooperation, taking over from Namibian President Hage Geingob. President Hichilema's guidance will catalyze economic growth, enable social development, and reinforce the SADC region's commitment to collaboration and cohesiveness. The head of state will also hold bilateral meetings with regional leaders on the margins of the summit. Opposition National Democratic Congress leader Saboyi Imboela has testified before the Lusaka Magistrate Court that she shares a good friendship with State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka. Opening her defense Wednesday morning, Ms. Imboela claimed the charges before court are political witch hunts because she has never had a misunderstanding in the more than 20 years of friendship she shares with Mr. Hamasaka. She testified that the post before court did not refer to the Hamasaka at State House, but someone else. This is in a matter in which Ms. Imboela is accused of issuing derogatory remarks against Mr. Hamasaka by alleging that he is corrupt and takes advantage of vulnerable women who seek employment in the UPND.
Opposition National Democratic Congress leader Saboyi Imboela took stand Wednesday morning to defend herself in a matter where she is accused of issuing derogatory remarks against State House Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka by alleging that he is corrupt and takes advantage of vulnerable women who seek employment in the UPND. Opening a defense this morning, Ms. Imboela told Lusaka Magistrate Sylvia Munyinya that the charges she is slapped with are merely a political witch hunt because she shares a good friendship with Mr. Hamasaka. She claims to share more than 20 years of friendship with the complainant, Mr. Hamasaka, and never had any misunderstanding in those years. In this case, the state has slapped the opposition leader with 2 counts of libel, contrary to Section 191 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. She is alleged to have, on the 9th of September 2022, published defamatory matters against State House Chief Communications Specialist Clayson Hamasaka on a Facebook page, alleging that Mr. Hamasaka was developing his farm using corrupt means and is a ghost taking advantage of women who are seeking jobs under the UPND administration. She is further accused of stating that Mr. Hamasaka was caught committing adultery by the wife. However, in a defense this morning, Ms. Imboela claimed the post before court did not refer to Mr. Hamasaka at State House but someone else. The opposition leader also indicated to the court that she plans to present 5 individuals from the UPND bearing the names of Hamasaka to support a defense and will also show their national registration card as proof. In a further testimony, the accused said it was unfortunate that the witnesses that appeared before court concluded that a Mr. Hamasaka referred to in the post was the complainant. She claimed to have maintained a good relation with Mr. Hamasaka, such that he would come to her rescue anytime anyone from the United Party for National Development tried to attack her, and that from 2002 to date they have never fought. The matter comes up on the 15th of September 2023 for continued defense. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Community TV News.
Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali has retaken plea in a case where he is accused of harassing Chief Mukuni of Southern Province in 2022. His plea Wednesday afternoon was prompted by an amendment made to the charge sheet by the prosecution. This is in a case in which Mr. Tayali is accused of harassing the traditional leader, Chief Mukuni, through social media by alleging that he planned the gassing incident with a view to have President Hakainde Hichilema, when he was still in opposition, released from prison. More in this report.
Economic and Equity Party leader Chilufya Tayali spotted outside the courtroom with Southern Province traditional leader Chief Mukuni shortly after the Lusaka Magistrate Court adjourned his criminal case. The opposition leader was seen talking to the man he is accused of harassing in 2022. Wednesday, the 16th of August 2023, the accused appeared before Magistrate Silva Munyinya, where he retook plea. This makes it the third time Mr. Tayali is retaking plea, following an application by the state to have the charge sheet amended. The outspoken politician has since pleaded not guilty to one count of harassment utilizing means of electronic communication, contrary to Section 69 of the Cybersecurity and Cybercrime Act No. 2 of 2021. Allegations before court are that Mr. Tayali accused Chief Mukuni of Southern Province through social media by alleging that he planned the gassing incident with a view to have President Hakainde Hichilema, when he was still in opposition, released from prison. According to the previous charge sheet, Mr. Tayali is alleged to have made the accusation toward the senior Chief Mukuni. But in the previous court session, James Chileche, 54, an assistant director in charge of chief affairs at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, had testified during cross-examination that the title of Senior Chief Mukuni does not exist. The witness had disclosed in his testimony that Chief Mukuni of Southern Province in Kazungula District does not hold the title of Senior. The new amended charge sheet before court has seen the word Senior removed and some words added. The case has been adjourned to the 19th of September 2023. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Kamni TV News.
3 more Zambians have been arrested in connection with the gold scam scandal. Drug Enforcement Commission DEC Director General Nelson Banda says 9 foreigners and 4 Zambians have so far been arrested. Addressing the media in Lusaka Wednesday, Mr. Banda says the incident on Monday, where an aircraft was intercepted at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, where suspected gold, guns with over $5 million, is a scam, as the said gold turned out 58% copper, then 35% zinc, among other smaller metals. He told the media that the case will not be tried in the media to avoid jeopardizing investigations.
But I want to mention that we will not carry out these investigations in the press. We respect your right to getting information from us, but we will not carry out these investigations in the press. For a simple reason. Whenever a person is arrested, the aim is to finally make them receive justice. Meaning they must be given a chance to defend themselves, to be heard in a court of law, which will be an open place for everybody to attend. Therefore, when we are investigating, we are preparing for court. It's not everything that we're going to say to the press or the members of the public. That would, I'm saying we shall not give to the members of the public that which we think is going to help us in the courts. Because it's in the court where that person will be given just to defend themselves. The case at hand, ladies and gentlemen, I'm assuming that we all know it. The case at hand, ladies and gentlemen, has been thoroughly dissected, and the direction is now very, very clear. We know where we are heading to as law enforcement. We want to assure you that we know where we are heading to with this case now, and we are decided. Perhaps let us more cut out of the bag. This has been a clear case of scamming. A clear case of scamming, gold scamming. We have gold scammers around here in our country, and this is where they are manifesting their trade.
This is Kamni Television Main News. We'll take a break. Join us for more news after the break.
In our quest to save nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, Chumi.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We'll continue with our Camnet Television main news. The German government has advised the Zambia Police Service not to always look to punishing and detaining people who commit offences, but find solutions to some of the offences committed, especially by children. Speaking at the launch of the Trainer's Guide and IEC's materials on access to justice and human rights in Lusaka Wednesday, Enabling Access to Justice Programs Manager Johanna Stroheka says people who break the law must be treated equally, regardless of their race, gender, ethnicity, and worth. Meanwhile, Zambia Police Deputy Inspector General Administration Anita Mbawe says many concerns have been raised on how the Zambia Police executes its mandate with regards to human rights. Ms. Mbawe says the launch of the training materials will help officers in the service learn and acquaint themselves with the new laws to avoid coming in conflict with the law in the execution of their mandate.
Us as an institution, we are judged harshly that these people are doing wrong things. Maybe it's because people don't know. or people have forgotten, because these documents we are launching today will be used to sensitize officers on the need to respect human rights.
Allow me to state that the launch of these training materials on access to justice and human rights is taking place at a time when reforms in Zambia Police Service are inevitable. Consequently, as an institution, we have no option but to align our policing strategies to the dictates of international standards. Therefore, the successful implementation of the contents of these materials envision a positive work culture and a more responsible workforce that will in turn build public confidence.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad to have partnered with the Zambia Police in the development of the Trainer's Guide, which will refresh officers on human rights standards in the enforcement of law and order. Let's try not to always look at punishing and bringing people into cells or arresting them, but as was expressed through this stage entertainment now, to find solutions.
Education Minister Douglas Siakalima says government is still in the process of paying University of Zambia UNZA retirees. Recently, 116 retirees at UNZA called on government to settle about 200 million kwacha owed to them in benefits since 2017. Responding to the calls, Dr. Siakalima says the retirees' problem at UNZA is a legacy issue which government is addressing. More in this report.
These are part of the 116 retirees from the University of Zambia UNZA who recently gathered at the institution to demand for more than 200 million kwacha in benefits. The retirees accused government of neglecting them despite committing to pay retirees within 3 months of leaving employment.
So we are appealing to the Republican President to intervene in this matter so that we are also paid.
However, reacting to the cause, Minister of Education Douglas Siakalima says government is slowly dismantling debt at UNZA.
We have been trying to reduce the retirees there. That 163 that you are talking about is because we paid some. First of all, we gave them 50 million kwacha, and then we gave them 100 million. So we are trying to reduce. It's a legal problem, that I can tell you, in that university. We are also trying to encourage them to say that, please, get your own. You are a business entity on your own.
Meanwhile, Dr. Siakalima has expressed disappointment with low numbers of pupils who entered school as compared to other provinces following the introduction of free education in the country. Speaking at the same event, government spokesperson Chushi Kasanda said government has done so much in the last 2 years in office.
For 2 years. One of the major things that I would like to outline today is that when we came into the office, there was a huge debt in this country, which was suffocating yourself and ourselves as well here. It was suffocating every Zambian, every child, even the child that is...
Reacting to sentiments from sections of society, accusing some government officials of mocking citizens going through hardships due to the high cost of living, Ms. Kasanda apologized if some felt mocked, adding that it was not the intention. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Financial analyst Watson Lumba has advised the government to focus on creating incentives that promote production in the country. Mr. Lumba says the country has found itself in economic complications due to the reliance on consuming the little the country generates. He suggests that once incentives are provided to production, it will be easier for the country to develop and have an available market.
There is a subsidy. We will not see the need to do that. We always think things will come freely to us. And I feel the best way for us to shift from being a consumption society to a producing society is for what the government has done on the maize side. Maize is our staple food through milling it and producing mealie meal. Now, when we give money to a farmer, it does two things. Number one, it encourages the farmer to grow more because they will recover their costs. So the first thing I'm suggesting for us as a people is to say, let's give incentives to production. Number two is let's create a market for when you produce, you are going to sell. The money, but government giving an incentive to production. How do you give an incentive to production if you don't mind? Give a good price, a price which makes me recover the money I put into my production.
The Zimba Council Chairperson Loveness Chigora says the implementation of the Constituency Development Fund on health facilities in the district has proven to be a direct remedy to less accessibility of medical attention in rural areas. Addressing a CDF sensitization meeting held at Kamukeza village of Chalimongela Ward Tuesday, Ms. Chigora says constructing health facilities using CDF in rural parts of Zimba will enable villagers access timely medical attention, which has been a challenge for many years. The council chairperson says improved health care in rural areas will not only reduce on long distances that people walk to access a nearest health facility, but also help citizens become economically productive and contribute immensely to the growth of the local economy. Meanwhile, Mapatizia Member of Parliament Imelda Munashabantu says the coming of the first ever clinic in Kamukeza village is testimony enough that government is interested in delivering development to all parts of the country and leave no one behind.
That the CDF has allocated this place a health center. We would like to thank government and His Excellency President HH for the CDF, because without the CDF, I don't know what these people are going to do. This place has been allocated a hospital. They decided that they put it as a ward, 2023, first priority as a ward. And we sat as CDF committee and said, okay, yeah, it has been long overdue.
Ticho netwakali kuyabwenda mwakalomba kwamba utete noyabona basororeri twamubika kuno kukamukeza tuchisipenzi lyachipatira etembo mbuko anda ndiru tuli kwamba chomutasi alya etembo mwakali kutwambi kuti twamubika sobo kuno tuyanda kuti chipatira chikatieni chikabe inongoyu murumbe mubotu wasika kwamba utete twareta chibadera kuno chekutarika biya wani edemahwa.
Chikangata Member of Parliament Jacqueline Savao has donated 100 bottles of Tri-Fen for infants to Terra Nova Community Health Post in Chikanza Ward. Ms. Savao, who was in her constituency familiarizing herself with operations of the community clinic, also commended the health workers for putting up their best in saving lives. Meanwhile, a resident, Hilda Usihu, says the community is happy with the community clinic, but only needed a maternity ward as women kept going long distances to access maternity services. Earlier, Ms. Savao interacted with community members, especially women, who she encouraged to form clubs and cooperatives so that they could be helped.
You have the love for your people. That's the reason why you chose to be in this career. You know, being in this sector is not an easy one, but because of the heart, it's like it's a calling. Me, I wanted to be a nurse. I applied looking for nursing. They called me for interviews. Then I said, that's how my mind said, she gave me money. Here's the money we got transport. That I would have changed my mind. Why? Bless your family so that you are given the wishes of your heart.
Inavasa kalumba bayo mupimbu patukaya kuno kujaganza wati abola wibulanga mapenzi ali muchipadera Yesu kuti batugwahirire kalumba maningi kwa mantano lipo kaluzumana na abahaga inde abazumana bwakumbeza
no mapenzi zinga muchisibula ajibadera
ajibadera no tula mapenzi into inabunjita ivo maternity wadi imawose ibere haima bulumu tayugo natulomba ote into batugwahirire Palumba mutwa babona uta watuwale mapenzi sasa uta watutyani batugwahe.
Two conjoined twins and its mother from Serenje district in Central Province have been evacuated to the University Teaching Hospital UTH in Lusaka by the Zambia Flying Doctor Service. The Flying Doctor's emergency lead, Dr. Miriam Nawale, said the twin girls were delivered to a 19-year-old mother on Monday this week at 16:45 hours through cesarean section at Serenje District Hospital. Ms. Nawale says the service carried out the emergency aeromedical evacuation following a request from the referral hospital to the Ministry of Health to have the case attended to at UTH. She says the air ambulance arrived at Lusaka ZAF Airport at 17:25 hours and paramedics from the UTH carried out the land transport to the hospital. Dr. Nawale confirmed that the condition of the twins and the mother is stable. You're watching Kamna Television News. Join us for international sports news after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, media news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now in international news, Kenya's debt level has reached record highs despite President William Ruto's vow to tame the country's appetite for loans, Treasury figures show. Total public debt rose by a record 1.56 trillion shillings in the financial year ended 30 June to 10.1 trillion shillings, breaching a debt ceiling of 10 trillion shillings, according to the data released Tuesday. Loan repayment costs, mainly to China, have shot up as the local currency trades at record lows of around 144 shillings to the dollar. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Kenya's national debt is once again staring at its highest limits, standing at a total of $70.75 billion in the financial year ended June 30th. Kenya's appetite for loans has been worrying to the global financial institutions, rising by a record $10.8 billion. The Treasury said Wednesday that the increase in the public debt is attributed to external loan disbursements, exchange rate fluctuations, and the uptake of domestic and external debt. Loan repayment costs, mainly to China, have shot up as the local currency trades at record lows of around 144 shillings to the dollar. The cost of debt servicing in the year ended June was $2.7 billion, of which the highest payment of $743 million went to China. The debt load has prompted warnings from global credit ratings agencies, including the Fitch Ratings, which last month downgraded Kenya's ability to repay international lenders from stable to negative, citing tax hikes and social unrest. Inflation in Kenya has also remained stubbornly high at an annual rate of 7.3% last month.
the charred remains of an ambulance that was destroyed during the fighting in Tripoli on Tuesday. The scale of the violence, which mostly shook the southern suburbs of Tripoli, is only coming to light now. On Wednesday, a tense calm returned to the capital after a ceasefire was brokered between the two competing militias late on Tuesday. On Wednesday morning, there was a steady flow of traffic in Tripoli, with armed guards stationed at intersections. But the city's only civilian airport, Mitiga, remained closed to commercial flights on Wednesday, officials said. Flights were being diverted to Misrata, about 180 kilometers to the east. The gun battles broke out on Monday between the influential 444 Brigade and the Al-Rada force. The clashes were triggered by the detention of the head of the 444 Brigade by the rival Al-Rada force on Monday, an Interior Ministry official said. 27 people were killed according to the Emergency Medical Center. Over 200 families were evacuated from frontline areas in the capital's southern suburbs, along with dozens of doctors and paramedics.
A leading humanitarian aid group said on Tuesday that delivering aid to Sudan is still feasible but difficult due to the instability caused by the prolonged fighting. David McDonald, the regional director of CARE International, explained that his organization is only able to provide aid to areas because of the ties they have with the local communities.
CARE International is only working in South Darfur and East Darfur, and we are currently serving around 600,000 people with assistance in that area. We have received restocking in East Darfur. That came in 2 days ago, and that's currently being taken out to the clinics that we work in. South Darfur is a big challenge for us at this point in time due to the uptick in conflict in that area. The rural communities that we have we've got clinics in are still ongoing, and that work is going well. But it is a challenge to be restocking in South Darfur at this time. We need peaceful routes to be delivering aid and assistance.
Several bodies are now appealing for calm and are now hoping to reach out to areas that have been rendered inaccessible.
Unlikely to get easier over the coming 2 or 3 months. And I think all of us have to evolve as agencies and as the overall response. We have to be getting some guarantees of security for populations from the warring factions to say that the civilian casualties will be reducing and that people will be respecting keeping civilians safe. We have to be establishing safe humanitarian corridors that agencies can be delivering assistance through. These things have been needed since day one, and we've struggled to have them since then.
Sudan was plunged into chaos in April when months of simmering tensions between the military-led General Abdel Fattah Burhan and the RSF commanded by Mohamed Abdan Daglo exploded into open fighting.
And now in our sports news tonight, England has reached the Women's World Cup final for the first time as they spoiled co-host Australia's party on a historic evening in Sydney. Silencing a sellout crowd at Stadium Australia with their 3-1 victory, the Lionesses became the first England football team since 1966 to reach a senior final on the world stage. It caps a sensational 2 years under manager Sarina Wiegman as England, crowned European champions for the first time last year on home soil, showed their superiority and know-how to see off an Australia side spurred on by a nation who have been inspired by the Matildas' success. Ella Toone gave England the lead in the first half with a superb first-time strike which sailed into the top corner. The Lionesses controlled proceedings until the second half when Australia threw everything at them and star striker Sam Kerr, starting her first match of the tournament, struck a 25-yard stunner over goalkeeper Mary Earps' head to make it 1-1. But England found a way back into the game when Lauren Hemp pounced on a defensive error to restore their lead before Alicia Russo made sure of victory late on to set up a final with Spain on Sunday. That FIFA Women's World Cup note brings us to the end of our news tonight. Before we go, the headlines once again. The Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, says the seized suspected gold bars are fake. Lusaka City Council employees storm Ministry of Local Government officers over unpaid salaries. The Patriotic Front to go ahead with their planned rally despite police restrictions. In international news, Kenya's public debt rises by a record 10.8 billion United States dollars. And in sports news, England reach first Women's World Cup final. Our comment verse of the day is coming from the book of Romans 14, verse 8. If we live for the Lord, and if we die for the Lord. So then, whether we live or die, we are the Lord's. Thank you so much for watching Kamle Television News. I'm Jeffrey Siambo. Good night.